for what girl I'm in a relationship with, for my actions, for the way I speak to people, for the way I conduct myself in public or online, or who I'm speaking to, who I'm favouritising, whatever it is. And I'm a big boy. I can deal with all of that. So it's all in the past. Clean slate, 2019, brand new year. Kicks off with a bang. It's fantastic. The year is chilled. Everyone's being lovely. We've got personal accounts and everyone's really proactive on all of our accounts. It's nice. We've got brand new content coming. It's lovely. And then today happened, which was essentially, for those of you who don't know, one to a few people, accounts, whatever they were, spread the news that I was in a relationship or dating or just hooking up with a girl. And that person happens to be a very good friend of mine. And what it did for a while was make that relationship I had with that person quite uncomfortable. I'm not going to say her name, so you guys don't have to go and search the person it was about and send a load of nice messages. It's fine, the situation's been dealt with, right? Essentially what happened was loads of people went over to her account, spammed all of her posts, told her how great she was and that they're so happy for herself and me being together. But then there was the odd one that was like, not so nice. And this news was broken to the world with no confirmation, with nothing, really. Apparently what had happened is that I liked one of her posts from the Road Trip account and from my personal one, but different posts. And someone then, there's a new bug in the room. We'll name him after. And people had then put two and two together and made their assumption that must mean we're in a relationship and we're massively in love, and it can't possibly mean that get away. Can't possibly mean that we are just friends. I have many female friends, and I know a lot of you guys will be like, oh yeah, of course you do, Farms, you're this big massive flirt, ladies, man. All your female friends are actually just like exes or girls you want to try and see. Well, actually, no, that isn't the case at all. I have loads of just female platonic friends that I've made from out through the years, whether it's through networking in the music industry, whether it's trying to keep close friends that are dear to me close, even if it is exes that I've maintained a good rapport with through that relationship. I do have a lot of female friends. With different areas of expertise. I have friends that are just friends because they're my friends. I have friends that are good singers, good cinematographers, good photographers, good people that are good to know in this industry that I get on well with and like spending time with. So for that assumption to be made of me, I know the situation with my last girlfriend, my ex, and how messy that got and how much hate she got and stuff like that. And if you think that I was to be in a relationship with someone else, I'd either A, subject them to that by publicly liking their content to kind of advertise them to you guys, or B, like deserve like that kind of level of disrespect. Loads of people, and I'm being very harsh, because 99.9% of you were awesome about the situation and said, I'm not going to believe it until it's come from Andy's mouth, or why does anyone care if it is true? He's of an age where he can be in a relationship, the band isn't his life, it's his job, and he lives with the band, but also please remember that he does have feelings outside of it. And I loved those comments. I didn't give those comments enough credit, so me publicly right now, I want to say thank you to all of them. To the pages that made the assumption and made the rumours up and stuff like that, you are forgiven. Straight up. It's like there's Road Trip news pages that were reporting it, or like fans that of myself in particular kind of jumped on it because they had an emotional attachment to myself and were hurt. But I'm not down about it, I'm not upset. Please don't go attacking pages. No one needs to delete their profile for publicising a rumour that I hadn't addressed. Like, you guys should know that I have female friends, but I shouldn't have to introduce every single one of them to you so that you don't think we're in a relationship. Do you know what I mean? Like, grant me that much privacy in future, if that's okay. If it's not, and you have a page that's dedicated to tea or drama or whatever it is, feel free to report whatever you like, but I'm the sort of person that will come out and tell you if it's wrong or right. And when I say it's wrong, there are going to be people that don't like that you've tweeted out or Instagrammed something that was factually incorrect and might have hurt my feelings. I'm telling you guys right now, publicly, on live, my feelings weren't hurt. The woman in question's feelings weren't hurt. It was just a confusing situation that was dealt with in a matter of minutes by a simple text. I was just like, look, there's this rumour going around that you and I are together because I liked one of your posts. If anyone says anything, just ignore any comments. Don't rise to it. Like, let it wash over and I will address it later. And that's fine. But then I go on social media recently and there's things like people telling them to delete their account, people telling them to harm themselves because they've spread false news. And that is so wrong because that puts you at their level, if not worse, definitely worse, actually. Someone tweeted or Instagrammed some news that was incorrect, and in return they need to deact from all social media and hurt themselves and stuff. That's so wrong, man. Like, it was a mistake. The pages, the people that publicised the news, it was a mistake, and I forgive you, and it is fine. You don't need to delete your accounts. Carry on as normal. I understand that your method of content and your method of gaining interaction is to say stories about myself and the other boys. Some of them are going to be right and some of them are going to be wrong. I forgive you. End of. And if you see this, I'm really sorry that news that you put out about myself has caused a negative impact on your life personally. And if there's anything I can do, please let me know. And in return, all I ask is that you're more respectful of my personal life and understand that I'm going to have relationships that aren't like sexual in any way. They're just completely platonic, that don't need exaggerating purely because I'm male and the person in question is female. I'm sure if I'd liked the post from a male, people wouldn't have gone, oh, Andy's obviously dating this boy. Because there isn't a stigma attached to men being friends, but there is one attached to males and females being friends. And that's why I made the tweet about, I feel like I'm being discriminated against, because as the most moralistic member of Road Trip, I think it's ironic that I'm the one that gets this discrimination when I'm the one that tries to promote such open-minded, positive messages to you guys. So, it's totally fine. Do not worry. If you are watching this and you are one of the pages that put it out, do not delete your account. I'm not mad at you. I don't hate you despite what other people are saying. I'm not upset despite what other people are saying. I put out a very forceful message earlier on my Twitter, letting people know that it was incorrect news, not to believe it and not to harass my friend. My main concern was that people didn't go and harass a close friend of mine when all they've done is post content as normal on their Instagram, and then 1,000 roadies go over, spam all their posts, tell them they're a horrible person, they're ugly, that Andy's yours, whatever it is, like, it's totally fine. Like, that's what I wanted to come on and say. Not that I'm mad, not that anything needs to be done. If you are thinking about deleting your account, please don't. I love every single roadie and every single roadie account. Whether the message of that account is positive or negative, that is your own personal opinion, and whether I pay attention to the news that comes from that account, that is my personal opinion. I paid attention to the news today because it was negative, but other times it might come out and, I just won't care about it. So, thank you to everyone who listened to that. It was a bit of a spiel. I love you all. Thank you for understanding, and thank you for tuning in, which is such something quite intense, quite late at night. So there you go. That's what I have to say on the matter, and I hope that the pages, if they are watching, I've made you feel better, hopefully, because that's my job. And if you're not watching, hopefully the correct people can pass these messages on to those pages, and hopefully we can get somewhere back to a place where there's more unity and positivity in the fandom, as there has been for the start of the year. Obviously, there's been previous issues that I'm not going to bring up to do with discrimination, racism, invasion of privacy, and stuff like that, but I'm not going to pinpoint those issues because they aren't present today. I might be incorrect with those. I saw a lot of stuff on those pages saying that we are oblivious to situations and that we are favoritizing certain people depending on their actions, if we like them or not. Those things really aren't the case either. So please, again, stop making assumptions on what goes on behind the scenes because you feel like you know what's going on because of the content we give you. Understand that Road Trip Online and Road Trip away from the keyboard are two very different entities. We have one that we publicise everything that's good and the perception's great of the band and we all get on and we love stuff, but we're also not going to publicise the internal politics and the stuff that affects the band in a negative sense, because that could cause uproar, it could give the band a bad name, it could give the people that have caused the negative stuff a bad name, and we really don't want to do that. So again, no more assumptions, please. If you want some news, I'll do my best to provide it. I'm a very open and honest person. Do I deny knowing the person? No, I don't. But do I deny that this person and I are massively in love and having 12 kids? Yes, I do. She's a dear friend of mine, and I intend to keep her that way. I'm allowed friends. And if there's a girl that I end up being in a relationship with, you guys are FBI as hell, so I'm sure you'll find out, won't you? There you go. Thank you very much for understanding. People are putting stuff about current things that are happening negatively in the fandom at the minute, and unfortunately I can't deal with those right now. I can only deal with stuff that affects me personally, because I can address it. Anything else that I haven't witnessed firsthand, I can't address because that's just speculate. Oh, sorry. Mad windy tonight. That is just speculation. So I'd have to witness those firsthand, and then also with things like discrimination and racism, I would pass those on to management who could deal with that issue publicly, because stuff like that coming from us is going to be very touchy. So thank you for all of your concerns, and I'm glad that all of you want to be really moralistic and accepting, and the ones that aren't following those messages, I really hope that you can come on board with them before it's too late. We are, as a fan base and a band, a very millennial band in the sense that we're open and accepting of everything and everyone, which might not have been the case 20 years ago. So please get on board with that. Thank you very much. Someone said this fandom is toxic, just saying. I really don't believe it is. I've been in loads of different projects and had loads of different fan bases, and out of all of them, Road Trip fan base, the Roadies, are the most supportive, dedicated, generous, kind and loving fan base there is. Every single fan base in the world has toxic elements to it, because essentially all you guys do is compete for attention and compete for content and compete for interaction, and the only way you're going to do that is by being the best roadie you can, and whether that's promoting our content to the best of your ability, whether it's starting rumours, whatever it is, you guys will essentially do what you can to get our attention. The majority of you, I'm not saying that all of you are like that, I understand that some of you are very laid back and just like the band from afar. This fandom may be mean, but it's not toxic. Thank you, I appreciate that. I wouldn't even say that you guys are mean. There's definitely been conflicts, I understand that. And our fandom is very good at publicising those conflicts, unlike other fan bases. But that, to me, is testament to how public and interactive and dedicated you guys are. Ironically, I'd rather you guys didn't promote conflicts, because I'd rather those conflicts didn't exist in the first place, but they are bound to happen. So I would prefer not to focus on the negativity in the fandom and focus on the positivity in the fact that we have nearly 1 million followers on two social medias, in TikTok and YouTube. We have a vlog channel which has got over 100k. We have personal Instagrams that are all about to hit 50k. We have an actual band Instagram that has 400,000 followers. Twitter, which has well over 350,000, 400,000, whatever it is. That's such an amazing achievement that wouldn't have been achieved without you guys. So I love you all. Genuinely, I love you all. There is not a single roadie that I hate or have asked to have banned from a show or don't want to speak to. And most importantly, I would never, ever, ever ask anyone to kill themselves. And this brings me on to another point that I was going to speak about. People are saying, oh, this was meant to be a chilled lively. It is a chilled lively. I'm kind of not addressing contributors. I love you all. I've seen Becky J. Vidral and Lolly and stuff. You guys have been sending stuff in, and I appreciate all of them. I just wanted to get these messages across. Rachel as well has just sent in an I'm very rich. And I appreciate every contribution. I really do. Thank you so much. But I wanted to get these very serious points across in a very chilled and laid back manner, as opposed to coming on here and ranting and swearing and kind of being boisterous. Like, we've had the hashtag Road is Beautiful campaign this week that you guys set up, you guys got involved with, and I believe that it trended in certain areas, and the hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people that took part in that, and the hundreds of selfies I've seen of kind, beautiful, wholesome men and women that are part of this fandom. No way can you label this, the whole project we've got going on, as toxic or mean. There's too many awesome people in it. The other thing I wanted to speak about is this week is the Eating Disorder Awareness Week. And something I wanted to speak about is my personal experience from that. So you are more than welcome to keep screen recording. You're more than welcome to turn off. I totally don't mind. So my experience. When I was in my previous band, Overload, we did a show called The X Factor. And on that show, I was very conscious of my weight. I felt like I was the biggest in the band. Felt like it was kind of a weakness of the band that there were four like really in shape, kind of good looking lads, and then there was me that could sing and could play guitar, but kind of let the image of the band down. And I always felt as though in Road Trip I'd never let that happen. That plan failed, but it's fine. So at the start of Road Trip I was very, very not concerned, I was very concentrated on making sure that I got in shape as quickly as I could. I got small, I got skinny, I got chiseled, and for the first 2-3 months of the band, I would be in a place where I would go to the gym every day without fail, regardless if I was on time off or if I was doing a band day. And I would not leave that gym until I'd done 1,000 calories. Now, for those of you who don't go to the gym frequently, 1,000 calories on a gym machine was approximately an hour and a half's work between a bike, a cross trainer at full pelt, and a treadmill. Now, as an asthmatic and someone who was out of shape with poor cardio, that took such an emotional and physical strain on me that when I got home, although I was starving, something in my head told me you are not allowed to eat. Because you've just done all this work, and no matter if what you eat is healthy, you can't put food into your body because your body is just so exhausted that you can't ruin the work you've just done. And it got to the stage for about 3 weeks, I believe it was, where I'd take a pre-workout drink, which like essentially gives you energy. It's like full of caffeine and different vitamins and stuff to like give you like an initial burst of energy. I'd get the workout done, leave the gym, not eat, and then really late at night have half a chicken breast, and then probably end up throwing it up. I wasn't on any form of food, any form of sustenance, other than a pre-workout and water. And I lost 2 stone in a month of fat. And in my head, I was like, I look great. I look really small, like the rest of the boys do. I'm chiseled. I can wear whatever clothes I like. I feel comfortable. Like, I can see my cheekbones. I can see like my ribs. This is a great place to be. I look really young. I look like really skinny. And it was only when I kind of got out of the habit and Blair kind of made me aware that the way I was doing things wasn't very healthy, that I look back and go, yeah, you might have looked skinny for a period, but then you got to the point where you look quite skeletal. You were so unhealthy, you got to the place where any food that entered your system, you threw up straight away. And you should never put yourself through that to conform to any sort of constraints that society has, in the sense that I thought that by being in a boy band you had to be this slim, kind of beautifully toned boy next door kind of vibe. So I did everything I could to get there as quickly as I could and didn't care about my own health. Now, I understand that story won't be anyone's turning point in their life and make people go from anorexia and bulimia to fast food junkies overnight. And I'm not saying that. I'm not asking anyone who is here suffering from an eating disorder to go away and smash a Big Mac. I'm saying you cannot underestimate how important it is to love yourself and look after yourself. Because I was doing this job to fulfill a dream of mine, but in turn I was taking hundreds of thousands of young impressionable teens and younger with me and portraying an incorrect message. So I do fluctuate with my weight. I'm very awful at maintaining a good diet. I can train and I can play sports, and I'm very happy with my cardio and fitness, but my weight is an issue. But it's something that I've always been open and honest about, because I think it humanises me and takes me away from this person on a screen to someone that you could be in school with and you could be going through the exact same issues. So what I want to raise awareness of is that everyone goes through similar turmoil and struggles, and you are not alone in it. And my piece of advice would be, if you are doing it for yourself, do it the correct way. And if you're doing it for someone else, learn to love yourself before you make changes for that person. So that is what I have to say on that matter, and I hope that helps in some sense. I've done a lot of talking, so thank you all for listening, and I can see in the comments Andy is beautiful, and I know I'm beautiful. I'm joking. Thank you. It's a nice shirt. No, trust me. I appreciate all of your comments. You're all very kind and you're all very supportive. And this right here, if you ever needed proof that the Road Trip fandom is a really beautiful place and a really kind collective of people, look at the comments in this live. Just saying, Road Trip fandom is the best. Let's skip it on a little bit. There you go.